Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. Alright, there we go. Last time, we made it through the swampy part of Blight Town and then came down into the Great Hollow to get a ring. The Chloranthy ring, stamina regeneration boost. Nice to have. I like having all the staminas. Especially now that's the first time I've ever used the grassroot shield, or grass crest shield. Which also boosts stamina regeneration, so combined, that should be very nice, especially with a light weapon like a dagger. I think the stamina regenerated before I could even start running again. Also, I remember in the last episode I made a statement about that being all of the little poison dart launcher guys. There is actually a few more, but I'll swap shields when I get to them. First, I'm going to be doing a bit of exploring in the swamp out here. Also, little disclaimer, there might be some frame rate drops. This swampy area of Blight Town, even in the console version, people complained of frame rate drops. I never really had much frame rate drop issues, but with the recording software running also, you know, I don't know. Also, giant leeches, I want that item, they're watching the item, you know. Generally, you do that. I'm gonna get poisoned a lot down here, but you know, there's not much you can do aside from wearing a lot of poison resist. Green Titanite is used for poison weapons. You know, as long as I keep an eye on my health. You only build up poison when you're actually in the swamp. There's a lot of areas that are out of the swamp, but since I'm gonna be in and out of the poison, I'm not gonna waste purple moss clumps. Okay, I think that's the entry area, yeah. I don't want to attract those spiders right now. It's easy to get lost down here. That's where I came from. These guys will aggro out of nowhere and chase you down, so it's best to deal with them. You also have a chance to drop Titanite. I don't remember which specific type. And as somebody pointed out in the comments on a previous video, I don't remember if I actually mentioned it. The slimes in the sewer area are a very good place to farm for Titanite and large Titanite. Especially now that we have Pyromancy that can deal with the slimes, because otherwise the dagger just would take so many hits. It'd become time consuming. Lots of giant leeches. I find that slightly strange. There's no creatures down here for the leeches to be feeding on. Typically, a leech would be much smaller than the thing that it typically preys upon, so I'm slightly worried by wondering what they preyed upon. Or the game designers may just not have been thinking about that and said, "Hey, leeches, poison area, do it." I don't know. I mean, they're clearly too big to be preying on the spiders. And I only know of a few creatures down here that are bigger than them, and probably not stuff they would be attacking. You know, due to the lots of lava. Need to Estus soon, but I can't while they're messing with me. That one leech there that just isn't even aggroing for some reason. Oop. Large Titanite, yay! Another large Titanite, that's great. I knew you were going to mess with me eventually. There's a whole slew of leeches down here. You know, they could have made them giant slugs or something instead of directly leeches. You know. Who knows. Leeches are something people would react to more, I guess. And it would make sense for them, you know, attacking. There we go. This should be a sword, if memory serves. The server. Not to be confused with the, you know, computer server. I really feel like it should have been sever, but let's see. Courage, great sword used mysterious rite. Frightful occult energy which restores HP with every hit. The amount of HP that you regenerate really isn't all that good. There are some viable HP regeneration builds where you would use stuff like that. Combine it with the Black Eye Ring, or Ring of the Evil Eye. Black Eye Ring just sounded weird. Every time you kill an enemy, you gain some health back. But, you know, I've not done any builds like that before. I mean, I typically don't go for set builds. I just say, I feel like playing this. This is only the 4th character. If you count the character that I made the first time I ever played Dark Souls on a friend's PlayStation that I never got to finish, it's my 5th character. I later got Dark Souls for the computer. I didn't have a PS3 at the time. I made my strength character, then made a dexterity character, which I used the Great Scythe for, and then made a sorcerer. I've, you know, again, don't consider myself an expert at this game. I've not done like a bunch of different plays. I don't know what's considered viable, except for, you know, a few things. I don't really do PvP. I'm kind of rambling at this point to fill in the gap while I'm roaming the swamp. But, I know Demon Souls has a lot more health regeneration stuff. Dark Souls, they cut back on it because they were, you know, learning as they went. Each game, they tried different things. Demon Souls, you didn't use Estus, you just bought healing herbs, and you could just buy massive amounts of them. Dark Souls 2 kind of tried adding some of that back in with the life gems and the herbs to regain spell charges. But you did still have Estus, so it gave you a nice way to work with that. Dark Souls 1, you have to manage your Estus a bit more carefully. I'm about to have to loop back to the bonfire. There's the poison mist. That's a good pyromancy to have in certain areas. Why are so many mosquitoes? Ooh, 2-for-1 sale! And I'm out of Estuses. There's the bonfire. Bonfires have a distinct shade of green from a distance. And even if well, I'm human now, I don't want to die, but even if I die now, I'm too close to the bonfire to get in trouble. I don't have enough souls for a level. I should probably check into repairing. There we go, all repaired. This time I'm going to try to stay out of the swamp as able. I do actually need to make a run to Firelink for something too. Oh! Well, hello there. Didn't expect you. So... Well, actually, there is something I need to do over here that kind of opens a shortcut. So we'll work towards that. There is a second entrance to Blight Town, which is what some people would use to bypass Gaping Dragon and such. There's also a number of items up here that's probably in my best interest to go ahead and get. A mobile platform system. Jump. Might die here. There's a few there's some jumps I've got to make. Not at this point exactly, but I have died there. Yep. I was gonna say I've died there before by weird hitbox issues. I didn't expect it to actually happen. So, jump cut and whatnot. Okay. One thing of note, when you die on moving platforms, it'll always put your bloodstain at the beginning of that area. There's also a delay on it. Your bloodstain will be a bit further back from where you actually died. partly in case you, for instance, died by fall damage, but also it only updates the server's location of your bloodstain every so often. I thought there was going to be a mosquito coming soon. Yeah, I see the ladder behind me also. There's a couple different things I gotta do here. And I hear poison darts. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with that area first. I've kind of got a balance beam across there, and I'm not doing it with them shooting toxic darts at me. Mosquito can stay there, it'll get bugged into the terrain. You can see the little darts stuck to everything. This is one of those spots where if you don't have the shield, you're gonna end up toxic badly. Trying to remember how it is you go around getting to them without getting toxified. I think you just pretty much run. Oh, that was lucky. The shield came up in time. I'm gonna deal with this mosquito first. Next, we deal with him. He's going to be problematic down there, but for the moment, he can stay down there. There's a bunch of the fire dogs down there, and I'm not dealing with them at this moment. I will get to them, just not at this moment. I've got to deal with all the toxic dart guys. There's one of them. Oh. I wonder how you react to pyromancy. I'm waiting for the toxic bar to go down enough so that I can take a shot without. And he can stagger me out of it. Great. I'm gonna wait and see if he stops firing again. That works. And there he is. I think every so many shots, if you're within a certain radius of them, they stop and scramble around. Which gives me just enough opening for that. I can target the one down there. No, he's moved. Those fire dogs are a real big pain. There's a lot of them. I don't really like areas that just have lots of the dogs. Unless you have a really big weapon. They're bad about just completely ganging up on you, which makes sense, you know, it's how they would fight in reality, but they're hard to deal with. There's also another one of those flies way up there, and its shadow always glitches through. Trying to get across here. Some of the terrain there is a little bit twitchy if you don't step on it just right. I think there is another toxic dart guy over here. I can't remember for sure. Maybe not. There's the crimson set. And I don't think this is a mimic. Ah! Oh, shoot. The remedy sorcery removes poison from the player. I don't remember if that's jumpable. Some of this I'm running off memory, and some of it I'm running off just can't remember. This is the ladder that leads up to the next stuff, though. I am going to deal with those dogs. And here's that. I told you there was one up here. I should probably deal with this first. That was a short enough jump to be safe. Watch me fall off. I have died there. Maybe that wasn't one. Oh, it's on the next platform up. I've died there many times. This puts me at least a little bit of an advantage. Let's see. The problem is the fact it takes 2 to 3 hits to deal with them. But if you get them one at a time, they're not too bad. But they will try to lure you in. They jump back a lot, and if you just haphazardly chase, you'll aggro the whole cluster. Okay, stupid little thing. I'm not fighting if you're gonna keep jumping back. Toxic dark guy. Aha! He got up, back up there somehow. Do not like him. Okay, that's the range on his shot. There's one behind that corner that luckily I didn't aggro. I forgot he was there, I just saw his head peek out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to resort to this. Just pick them off one by one. It's actually why you'll see a lot of melee characters carry a bow and arrow. I think there's one around. Nope, not around that corner, so that's. Oh, I took a toxic shot. Ah, hello there. Yep, I can take. Darn it! Ah. I didn't know if I could take a shot of toxic while climbing a ladder or not. 1 second. Toxic does a lot more damage than poison. It's also why a lot of player versus player people will just spam dung pies. Although the invader has to be careful because you can only heal as an invader by using humanities. You can't use your Estus, so you know, if it comes down to both of you being toxic, the host can wait. Okay, well this went a little smoother than I thought. I think that's a Firekeeper soul. Yes! Being behind a body behind a gate like that is usually a Firekeeper. And there's somebody's bloodstain. I don't know if I've done that yet, but you can see how somebody died. You got stun locked. He or she, they, you can't see a great deal of detail about the player from that. Oh, let me go ahead and swap back to my grass crest shield too. I'm going to climb back up. and then I'll probably pause, and then we'll get to the actually getting to the shortcut out of here on the next episode. The plan is I need to get back to Firelink. There's a shortcut out of Blight Town, which kind of two birds with one stone there. Then come back down to Blight Town and deal with the boss. But, you know, one step at a time. A lot of multiple stage processes going on. That is really one of the things I love about Dark Souls 1, is the world feels like... The areas feel interconnected and whole. Dark Souls 2 feels more like a hub world, like a central hub with spokes coming out of it that don't really connect to each other. It's partly because they went back to a little bit of the Demon Souls formula, which did use a hub world, which it can work. It was just a little bit weird moving from Dark Souls 1 to 2, going from a, you know, interconnected world to a hub world felt odd. I think that may be the wrong letter. I always get lost here. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and we'll get unlost next time. So, see you next time.